To all the members of this committee, I know that I have a lot to learn from each of you. To Judge Sotomayor, welcome. Over the next few days, I expect to learn from you as well. As been said, you're the most experienced nominee to the Supreme Court in 100 years, and after meeting you in my office last week, I know that you're not just an outstanding jurist, but an exceptional individual. And as others have said, your story is inspirational and one which all Americans should take great pride in. I may not be a lawyer, but neither are the overwhelming majority of Americans. Yet all of us, regardless of our backgrounds and professions, have a huge stake in who sits on the Supreme Court, and we are profoundly affected by its decisions. I hope to use my time over the next few days to raise issues that concern the people of Minnesota and the people of this nation. This hearing will help folks sitting in living rooms and offices in Winona and Duluth and the Twin Cities to get a better idea of what the court is, what it does, and what it's supposed to do, and most importantly, how it affects the everyday lives of all Americans. Justice Souter, whom you will replace if you are confirmed, once said, "The first lesson, simple as it is that whatever court we're in, whatever we're doing, at the end of our task, some human being is going to be affected. Some human life is going to be changed by what we do. And so we had better use every power of our minds and our hearts and our beings to get those rulings right." I believe Justice Souter had it right. I believe that the rights of Americans as citizens and voters are facing challenges on two separate fronts. First, I believe that the position of the Congress with respect to the courts and the executive is in jeopardy. Looking at recent decisions on voting rights, campaign finance reform, and another number of other topics, it appears that appropriate deference may not have been shown in the past few years, and there are ominous signs that judicial activism is on the rise in these areas. I agree with Senator Feingold and with Senator Whitehouse. We hear a lot about judicial activism when politicians are running for office and when they talk about what kind of judge they want on the Supreme Court. But it seems that their definition of an activist judge is one who votes differently than they would like. For example, during the Rehnquist Court, Justice Clarence Thomas voted to overturn federal laws more than Justice Stevens and Justice Breyer combined. Second, I am concerned that Americans are facing new barriers to defending their individual rights. The Supreme Court is the last court in the land where an individual is promised a level playing field and can seek to right a wrong. The past decade has made it a little bit harder for American citizens to defend themselves. As I said before, Judge, I'm here to learn from you. I want to learn what you think is the proper relationship between Congress and the courts, between Congress and the executive. I want to learn how you go about weighing the rights of the individual, the small consumer or business owner, and more powerful interests. And I want to hear your views on judicial restraint and activism in the context of important issues like voting rights and open access to the internet and campaign finance reform. We're going to have a lot of more time together, so I'm just going to start listening. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.